John. So, if you'd like to start us off with any announcements, any new updates, or just anything you'd like to say in general, we'll start with that.
Well, the market is talking it up, so that's pretty interesting. A lot of people starting to call either the bottom in August, so coming up August October, somewhere between now and then. Um, I watched a video this morning, and they were talking about the bottom's in 60, like 59,000 was the bottom, and we might sort of bounce around between now and 75,000 for a while, but the bottom's in and we're going to start moving up. Um, interesting. I'm still fingers crossed that the bottom is not in and we're in the fifth year of a bull run, because that would be just the most exciting thing to happen if we could just suddenly just lunge straight up past 100,000 and run. But if we are in the bottom, that's not too bad either. So that means that 27 should be quite a good year. And as our price comes up, then obviously we move back into being able to open things up again and get the staff back on, and etc. So that's exciting too. Um, been doing work with the Aldeir couple of guys, so we got work on that. So I've got something to show you today. I can link that a bit later if you want. Some people have already watched it. I sort of made it public, the video public before, and some people have already watched that, so they're sneaky. Other than that, no, let's get to the questions. Let's make it happen.
Okay, perfect. So, I'll start with the questions. If anyone has any additional questions, feel free to just ask in the channel attached to this AMA. Otherwise, let me go down here and I'll ask from the start. So, from Oleg, is there a timeline to have a closed beta for VI3 holders to test Aldeir? So people are already hungry to test the game. When can
No,
they?
no
No.
timeline. I was doing some playtesting today when I made that video, and it is actually coming along pretty well. Like I haven't been in it for a couple of weeks because I've been doing other things, and then the dev said, "Hey, look, it's ready for you to test this new." So what we've added in today is land claims. So that's the new thing that's come in. So I went out and claimed the first piece of land, and out near Foxville, and just going out to I rode a horse out to Foxville, and just I was on my way out, just riding along on my horse, and I was thinking, you know what, this is pretty fucking cool. I was really enjoying it. So, and there's there's new nighttime predators being put in, and so you got to be careful after dark, and you need to get your basic defensive skills up to a certain level if you're going to travel at night, because if you're traveling at night, you're in danger. There's packs of wolves, and there's also these nasty little fucking goblin-y things that sort of like swarm around you. So they're like what do you call those little Ewoks? Those little annoying things in
Ewoks,
Star
yeah.
Wars, yeah. So they're like a little annoying things that you just want to kick, but they get too many of them and they can overpower you. So yeah. So anyway, um, in answer to Oleg's question, probably near the end of the year. So I would guess it's pretty close now, but I don't want to sort of put people into it before. There's several things I want finished before we get to that point. But like the building system's pretty good right now, but it's not perfect. So there's more work to do there. So
Perfect.
sorry,
Great answer.
Oleg,
Thank you.
you'll have to wait.
But you know what? It just makes it so much better when you actually get to test it out and play, guys. So, from IG, what is the situation with IPFS? Apparently, Gala supported IPFS with Gala Chain, and that helped the chain stay healthy. Is a similar synergy possible for the Bolt chain? Any other synergies we can find out that where the chain supports other things that boosts it economically. So, um, other usages for the chain at this time where we can loan it out, rent it out for other, I guess, initiatives and the such to create income.
Probably not right now. I don't even know what that means. The IFGS or IGFS or whatever it was. What was that?
IPFS. Let me do a quick Google on IPFS because I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
knew,
You used to know.
but it was early in the morning.
So, in answer, look, from off the top of my head, without talking to Froggy, so I'm not a dev, so it's hard for me to answer these questions with any real authority.
It's farming stuff, by the way, John. So like initial farming offering. So
Right. Um, so at the moment, our chain is partially like the DAP is closed down purposely because it's the most expensive part of the chain. And without that being up, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be a bit hamstrung with what we can and can't do. Um, that will be the first thing to come up once the bull market kicks in. So, but I don't want to bring it up early because we've got to pay for it. So, and it's several $1,000s a month just to pay for that piece. So I'm very, very keen to not bring it up until the cash flow is flowing because it comes out of my pocket otherwise. So, yeah.
perfect, thank you. So IG has a follow-up question. He says, I used to sink way too much money into in-game purchases on two mobile games before I had to quit cold turkey because of how much I was spending. So some games had a serious hook to them.
Yep.
Number one was Black Desert Online Mobile, and then Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, they make insane money every year. Um, what I've never understood is why crypto gaming space hasn't seriously tried cloning these kinds of hyper monetized cash cow games. It's true, none do and none have. There was one pretty weak Clash of Clans style crypto attempt, but didn't go anywhere. Do you think the key is building games with much cheaper guild slash clan engagement and social features for crypto economies to actually work? And then second is, why do you think we haven't seen more attempts at cloning these sorts of games that I'm going to add on to that that make $1 to $2 billion a year type stuff? So
Okay.
the
Well, so
short little games. Boom. Oh, sorry. I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead.
well, the short answer is people have tried. So like there's that old saying, nothing new under the sun. It's all been tried. $1 billion game is a rare thing. So, and it's the difference between $1 billion game and a game that totally fails is not very much. So, um, the answer is like we tried, like with Nexus, we've tried to clone League of Legends Dash, a couple other games that are similar. With Ordnum, we've tried to clone Magic the Gathering, and so like every crypto company tries to do this, and the thing is that the thing that makes the game like Fortnite, for example, or DayZ for a survival game, for example, popular, often you can make exactly the same game and for different reasons it doesn't become as popular. So, um, that said, any of those games like Nexus and Ordnum and Aldeir and all the games we're building, when the bull market becomes really popular and it's on fire, all those games will be somewhat popular. So there'll be people coming rushing in to buy and play them because they'll have a chance to earn money in them. Um, Getting the viral part without the bull run being in fire is really really hard. So that's the balance of what we do. And obviously, if we could get a game that just took off on its own merit without any play to earn um, back to it, that would be the golden cow. That's the reason we're building 30 games is to try and find that one game or two games or five games that does that naturally. And you end up with a 200,000, 500,000 person community, and that game would just then keep making money all the way through the bear run because there'd be the community feeding money into it all the time. So, but we haven't got there yet.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but do we not have intentions down the road to have a arcade style chapter? So where we have these quick fire games like like Clash of Clans is and that, where it's just each game is literally 5 minutes, rinse, repeat
Yeah, so they're
type
like
stuff.
Daniel and I were working when Daniel was with us. We were working on a casino. So we were going to do like an old west casino, and inside that casino was going to be a whole bunch of little mini games that you could play and bet on. So that was the idea that you could actually go into, and it was almost like we're going to build that in the metaverse, or the Playaverse, as our metaverse is called. And that Playaverse idea was to have like an old west casino that you went to, and adults only area. And then when you walked through the doors, there were simple games like some casino games you could play, and you bet bull as your thing. But the idea was to also have several of these mini games set up in there that you can just sit down with friends and play and trial that. But I need a bigger dev team to build that, unfortunately.
So yeah, absolutely down the pipes type stuff. And yeah, so many of the questions following up on that is just more games having more of a social built-in system. So like more of a guild, more of a they hop on, play with their friends and maybe go against other friends type stuff. So about 10 follow-ups on that.
Yep.
Just skipping down below those because we just answered that pretty much. And the answer is it's in the works. It's just in the future works. Okay, a couple Pixie Land questions. When Pixie Land? When Pixie Land? We answered that in the last AMA. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that, Jono? Pixie Land is a very large topic of conversation.
Yep. The look, the issue with Pixieland, as for last AMA, was that I'm loath to change the code that's there right now with such a small dev team, because if we break it, the whole thing goes down, and it's not easy to bring back up. So we've got changes we've already made in the code I've got. I've got a set of code off, and that's already come along. Like I've been working mainly on the first 7 days with one of the devs there, but we have talked about updating it, and we've just decided not to until we get several people back that can actually like Godot. So Pixieland's built in Godot, which is one of the game engines we've not built nothing else in. So Aldeir has been built in Godot specifically to get more experience for one of our devs. So we can have one of the devs working in Godot because of Pixieland. So the answer is not right now, but again, we are going to, that's all prepped and ready to upload once we get going again.
Perfect, thank you. So this is from Aldine, and this is mainly just to recognize that you're mentioning this, Aldine, and that we are absorbing it. So some ideas they would like to see for Pixie Land to make it more awesome and more of a hook is adding guilds and wars between them. So the social aspect as well as the purpose end game loop, which in this case would be obviously guild wars
Yeah,
within the game. And then of course the VIP pass to earn, uh, staking coin within the game. That's an interesting thought. Not sure how that could be achieved, but that's something that could be looked into. And Zest followed up with uh, feedback on daily login options, which apparently is already in the code, seasonal mining, which is already in the code, and the Ronin blockchain grant for funding projects. So I just proposed that yesterday, guys. So we're not gonna unless Jono had a chance to look at it right away on a
I
weekend,
I
we're not
haven't
going
known.
to address that. So yeah, but I did present that. That is right now in the channels to be looked at. And that's where Ronin will fund the reward system in the game and the such. Um, I'll give you an update on that
Okay.
a little later on once it's actually reviewed, but it's not reviewed yet.
Look at this little dog in the chat. Fucking chihuahuas, I tell you.
Oh, I looked behind me. I was like, "Is Rhea here or Nyx? Did they pop up?"
That's much more
And then a
ferocious
couple
than
questions.
Raya.
Oh yes. Oh my. Ooh yes. Okay. And then the next bits is just technical questions about that we're already addressing. So pretty much with the Ronin transition to the new system, how's that affect things? And we've addressed that on the channel. So let me check the AMA channel itself here. So Oleg asks, update on Aldeir, going strong but still a while out. Oh, sorry. He was just repeating what we said. So I think that's it for the questions, unless there's anything anyone else brings up in the AMA channel here.
Well, I will post this here.
Oh, there we go, guys.
So that is,
Copy.
you're welcome to watch that live if you want. It's only a couple of minutes long. But it basically just takes you out and shows you how the land claim works. Okay, so one of the first things we've added in is you can make your horse stand or follow. So if you're doing errands and you're like hunting for something and you've got to be on foot, the horse will follow along behind you. And if you don't want it to follow, you can just tell it to stand and it will actually stay there until you come back for it. But I actually do want it to follow right now. License, make sure I've got it, got a license. Now Pike here gives us the land, the land deed. So we've got a jump as well with the horse now. So now obviously early in the game you're not going to have a horse. Got to work your way up to that, but since I'm doing a lot of running around, I got a horse. And there's some horses you can capture if you have the horseman skill. So I'm just running out to Foxville. Okay, and this is my claim. So this claim here stops anyone else from actually building. And you can see out here, these are the borders. So there's pegs at the border. So here's my next border down here. There'll be another border over here somewhere. Here's a border over here. And there'll be one more down here somewhere. So that's the square I've bought. So I've been gifted. And so then I can change this land however I want. I'd clear these trees off the top and make a house site here. And then I've got a view down to Foxville, a view of the lake, and it's pretty cool. So there you go. The land claim system is here. So the first, you get like a little half acre of land. Thereabouts, might be a third of an acre. And you get that given to you as free when you get into the game. So you can go and get your first little piece of land and start building a little stash for yourself, a little base on your first piece of land. And I've got one of the other things. One of the things I was finding when I was in the game was I had to do things in the game and I had to get off my horse to do them. And so I asked the dev, can I have the horse follow me? When I'm off the horse, can the horse just be a good horse and follow me? So we've made the horse follow me. So the horse, if you click follow on the horse, it'll follow you around while you're mining things and doing jobs and whatever else. So when you turn around, the horse is right there. You don't have to go, because I was getting lost in it. Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah. Love the horse because it's a procedural world. It's a big world, so if you just keep riding east, it keeps making world for you. So it's pretty amazing. So you want a horse?
Well, if you have the horse following you around, that sounds like it's a good setup for a pet type system where you can have your favorite dog or cat or wolf
Absolutely.
following you around too.
Yep. Yep.
There you
It's
go,
all
guys.
that's already that the pet system's already built in. You've got and so to train any animal, you've got to become a horseman first. So you got to go out and collect. So there's one of the other videos I explained the skill system. You got to collect. So in the mushrooms all over the world, so you'll see when I'm riding around in the video. There's some mushrooms. I think I stopped to pick on the way. Because in those mushrooms are the pieces of the plans. And once you get all 8, like for horsemen, you got to get 8 pieces. And once you've got all 8 pieces, you can join them together. And now you've got the skill to learn. And then you go back and learn it with a trainer. And now you're a horseman and you can go and capture horses and train them. So, and that's not easy. That's hard all on its own. But you can't do it at all without actually having the skill. So yeah,
Love it.
it's coming together.
Oleg came up with a question during that. He said, "So, what are the features you want ready on Aldeir before beta testing?" They wanted kind of a timeline, well, not timeline, but a planning board on what needs to be
Okay,
done before we can play.
off the top of my head, there's only one class in at the moment. I want 3 classes in. So there's only the what's called the greening class, and they help things grow. It's like a druid, I suppose you'd call them. But we're trying to make the classes. So this Aldeir is not so much about PvP, although you can PvP in there. Remember, Aldeir is designed to be a soft version of Dogs of War. Dogs of War is designed to be the pull your hair out, I don't ever want to play this again, permadeath, you get killed, you lose everything. Aldeir is much softer. If you die, you just go back to the spawning zone and have to come back and you don't lose everything. And if you're bleeding to death, you never actually die, you just end up crawling. And you can crawl for 3 days if you have to get to where you can heal yourself. So there's no permadeath in Aldeir, it's all very soft. And we're trying to do that because we think there's a real market there for people who don't want that hardcore survival game. And Aldeir is much more about pets and training, and part of what's been built with the horse system is you can stable your horses and it's just 1 gold permanently like it costs 1 gold, and then the horse can stay in that stable for as long as you want. There's no timer, or it's not very harsh. It's all very gentle. So I want 3 classes, and I want the building system to be better, so you can actually build proper houses and stuff. And I want the landmarks in the first few kilometres of the map, so you have things to aim for. And so those things all sound small, but they're not exactly small. There's lots going on. Like
Perfect. Yeah,
any
putting in.
game, any game is just complicated and big. Like, um, yeah,
So, is like a bard one of the things currently being known about? So, like, uh, playing music, buffing things, just a nice, gentle, casual character versus
I, I,
an attack type character.
I don't have it. So no, Bard isn't one of them at the moment. But the I'd have to look up the actual design doc. I can't remember off the top of my head. We made the Druid one first because that's my favourite character. So I'm a bit naughty. I've made the one I want to play first. But there's a straight mage. So like a mage dash warlock dash, like you can choose like whether you go bad or good. Um, and they are purely offensive, and they aren't the strongest class for a couple of different reasons. But they're probably the most. If you like PvP, they're probably the most fun to play. There's a weather one coming. So the other one, so the growing
Oh,
one, the stuff it does offensively is. There's a video on that, so you can see it. It's got vines that come out of the ground and grab you. It's got a big frost bolt, like a green ball that fires at things, and it's got the whip, the vine whip. Um,
very crowd controlly.
yeah, but the main thing it does is you can hire that druid to help your crops. So the druid goes out to a village, and people will pay the druid to actually help their crops grow. And he can cast spells on the crops and make. And so there's another one we're doing, which is a weather-based one, and you can hire that one to come out to your village and improve the weather in your village. So,
Hmm.
so there's things. So these classes have much more than just fighting that they can do, and if you're hiring the druids and the weather, I don't know what that weather one's called. Um, you're getting more out of your village. So as a village, you're paying people that have these skills to come and work in your village. So yeah,
Well, I love it. And guys, what's your favorite character? If you want to see something in the characters to be created in the future, put it down in the comments. Probably, I'd say the comments on the YouTube because then it's easy for me to compile them up. So,
yeah.
say what your favorite character is. What do you want to see in the game? What would you want to play, and what would it be? We make the games all together. So,
My
be
favourite
part of the
character.
game. Let us know what you want.
So we're bringing the Pixie
I
Land
like Hot
characters.
Rod Bill. Yeah, Pixie Land characters. Yeah, I want a farmer. The Madeline dementia, you're hilarious. So, perfect. Let's see. So there's no more questions anywhere. Um, let's just do a very quick overview of what is to come. So yeah, so everything with Pixie Land. We're just waiting for the ability to hire on a go.dev to get it going and the such. Um, there are, like Jono said, he has a patch kind of going in the back. However, the concern is if it's implemented at this moment and it goes awry, the game goes down, it's very hard to get it back up. So we're going to wait on that. However, we'll learn, build, and try things out in the meantime. For the earning, the play to earn with Pixie Land. That's proposed through the Ronin earning module. So that's proposed yesterday. However, it will take a few days to be reviewed because it's more than just a, oh, that looks good, right? We have to have some conversations, make sure that Ronan actually is able to do it with us. We're able to have a system in place
Oh,
and
we've
it
also
makes
got to, I
sense.
mean, this is the first I've heard about it, but we've also got to make sure that we can fulfill our commitments to that. So,
Yes.
like Bitmart went down this week or last week, and like it's a major exchange in the world, and they've just packed up. We paid 200,000 US dollars to join that exchange. So, like, we've just lost that $200,000. It's just gone into the ether. So, and plus the money that was in the exchange. So there's money that we've got locked up in the exchange, and they haven't given it back. So it's not very cool. And so we've got to make sure that, like, when we paid that money to Bitmart, I expected certain things back for that money, and now all we've got back is, you know, I, we can say we've done okay with it because we've obviously they've looked after us for several years, and that's good. But I don't want to make commitments to Ronan that I can't keep at this point. So we've got to be very careful what we commit to. And yeah, so I'll definitely look at it, and I'm very keen to find if Ronan's got lots of money sloshing around in their buckets, and they want to put some up to help Pixie Land. That sounds very good to me. So yeah, certainly look at that.
Absolutely. So more to come on that, guys. Um, I see a question about the Avalanche Fund. I haven't heard anything back on that, but an email was sent out to them to probe about that. That's the Avalanche funding for crypto games on their chain. So, oh, here we go. We have more questions coming in. So, Dementia, Emma Dementia. I'm just gonna call you Emma Dementia. It's easier for me to say. But don't you have to enter Ronin Exchange? It's already based on Ronin Pixie Land, right? We'll have to look into that to confirm that and the such. But that is something we're going to look into. Um, Merguez is politely requesting all Pixieland players to stop putting shields on your buildings. He's having a hard time stealing from you. Guys, gotta let him steal your crops easier, you know? So, very good. I love the back and forth there. So, lots of players loving Pixie Land currently, and it being our game that we actually have playable at this time during this time. Please note we are absolutely looking at everything, with Pixie Land. It's not being ignored, right? It's just right now we're biding our time. We're doing what we can do, and we're not taking risks so that you guys pop on, let's say Monday, and you can't play any games at all because, oops, we release a bad patch and we don't
We
have
we've had that
the
happen
people to
before.
do things. We'd have had that happen before, and we've learned from that mistake, and that's why
Yeah,
we're not doing it again. So,
yeah. I'm not keen to have 100 people yelling at me every day saying, "Where's my game?" So yeah,
yeah, yeah, especially right now with the wallet swap and all that, we need to be extra careful. We
yeah.
need to make sure that all of you guys are able to move from the old wallet to the new wallet, get all your NFTs into the game, which we've been doing for the last 2 months, and so far we have a 100% success rate for everyone that's making a ticket, even with the more unique ones, right? Because they're not all the same. So get your NFTs in the game, stake them in there, get to the new wallet. M Dementia here is being a superstar, helping out on the channel every day. Utilize him. He is uh, our subject matter expert in Pixie Land. And he has a special role for it in everything. So get everything prepped up. Once everything starts going back green, the DApp comes back, everything's all good, and we get the people, the staff. You will see huge movements in Pixie Land. And of course, Ordinum will come right back and be play to earn practically pretty quickly out of the gate, and we'll get everything going again full throttle. So it's
Yeah,
not like we're going to be coming out limping. We're going to come out huge, especially with Aldeir also coming out end of year and the such. So we have a lineup ready to be play. Not all of them be play to earn, but we'll have a big standing with a few play to earns.
yeah. And the other thing to remember is we've got the AI department has achieved enormous things over the last 12 months. So when that gets locked into game development on the next, so I discussed this last time, but my idea here is that at our height we had 55 staff around the world, and we're not going to need 55 staff, and most of those were game devs. We're not going to need 55 staff next time. We're going to literally be able to have maybe 5 game devs and of different levels, and um, a bunch of AI stuff happening, being run by a few AI guys for those game devs. And the stuff we're doing already with AI is just astounding. So, and like, just remember, AI is doubling in power every 4 months at the moment. So, what it can do today, in 4 months' time, it'll be doing double. So, it is just astounding, is the only word. So, by the time we get into the absolute bubbling bull run, we're going to be able to achieve some really amazing things very quickly. So, it'll be good fun. All right, let's finish it
And
there.
for those, okay,
Sorry, no,
I'll
you go. You
finish
can
there.
finish.
So
You can finish off.
I'm just gonna say, because I know a lot of people are worried about AI. I see it everywhere. I see a lot of the AI slop stuff and the such. There's a very large difference between using AI as a novice to create something without background in it and having a master of the craft using AI to assist them. So
Exactly.
we'll have devs who are professionals, they come from companies that have huge backgrounds and the such. They're very knowledgeable using it as a tool, like a artisan crafter uses tools on electric tools on a bench to help him or her create something of beauty or something that works functionally, right? It's not going to be like, I don't know, me just saying, okay, I want to create a game, AI make a game. No, it's going to be someone that knows how to make that game and say, okay, I need this bit made, do this 5-hour task in 12 seconds. Yeah, that looks good. Let me plug it in and tweak it and make sure it's perfect. Okay, cool. So it's making one person 10 people.
Yeah.
And it's what's been happening in human history forever. Just now it's AI versus the internet versus electricity versus, the the windmill that churns the seeds and the such to create flour, right?
Oh,
So
it's the
it's a
track.
tool being
It's
utilized, not instead.
the tractor pulling a plough as opposed to a horse pulling a plough. They're exactly the same, except the tractor
Yeah.
can do it all day for 8 hours, and the horse can only do it for a few hours. So it's
Fantastic way
it's
to put it.
that's just the difference. Is that the AI, like, when you ask an AI to find something, it can find it. You ask a human dev to find
Mhm.
something, and that answer might not come back for a week. So, and we've had that. I mean, with Dogs of War, there was a time there that we literally had a week we could not fix a bug because they could not work out what the bug was. They couldn't even find it, let alone what it was. They didn't even know how to find it. So, whereas the stuff I've been seeing with the AI stuff is that you literally say, this is what we're experiencing. We think it's this. Can you check? And it checks every single file in the whole game for that particular problem, and it comes back and says, yes, that's it, or no, it's not. So now you know, go to the next thing, and we're identifying problems so much faster than what we were able to do in the past. So
Yeah,
it's really good. All right, well, thanks everyone.
that's
Have a great whatever it is, Sunday. For those of you just starting your
Sunday.
Sunday, for those of us finishing our Sunday, I'm going to go and have dinner. And thanks very much, and thanks for your support, much appreciated. And we will talk soon. I'll get the video up sometime tomorrow, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Adios. Thank
Okay.
you.